Throughout history, humanity has achieved remarkable milestones in space exploration. From the first footsteps on the moon to sending robotic emissaries to distant planets, we've pushed the boundaries of what's possible. But have you ever wondered what sacrifices paved the way for these triumphs? While today's missions focus on future colonization of celestial bodies, the early days of space exploration were driven by something far different, a fierce political rivalry between superpowers. The Cold War, an era marked by technological competition and ideological conflict, led to the rapid development of manned spaceflight. Yet, this progress came at a cost. The question remains, how much human suffering is justifiable in the name of scientific advancement? As we unravel this story, brace yourself for tales of bravery, tragedy, and relentless ambition that shaped the space race. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on Curious Explorers and ring the notification bell. Join us on our galactic adventures and never miss an exciting exploration into the unknown. At the height of the Cold War in the late 1960s, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union reached their zenith. This was more than just a battle for political supremacy, it was a technological showdown. Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev sought to showcase communism's might to the world by orchestrating a grand spectacle in space. Imagine this, the year is 1967, and the Soviet Union plans an unprecedented feat, a rendezvous between two spacecraft in orbit, with a cosmonaut performing a daring spacewalk from one capsule to the other. Such a maneuver had never been attempted before, and its success would have been a resounding demonstration of Soviet prowess. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. Technicians tasked with preparing the spacecraft realized they couldn't meet the tight deadlines imposed by the political agenda. Amid these challenges, one cosmonaut, Vladimir Komarov, became the centerpiece of this dangerous mission. As Komarov prepared for his flight, another prominent figure voiced concerns: Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space and a national hero. Gagarin inspected the spacecraft and found 200 critical flaws that could prove fatal. He even wrote a letter to Brezhnev, pleading for the mission to be delayed until the issues were resolved. Here's where the story takes a tragic turn: Gagarin's warnings were dismissed. Political pride overshadowed reason, and Komarov faced an impossible choice. Refusing the mission would mean his friend, Gagarin, might be sent in his place. With heavy resolve, Komarov chose to proceed, knowing full well it could cost him his life. What would you do in such a situation? Would you risk your own life to protect a friend, or step aside knowing the danger? Let us know in the comments below. On April 23, 1967, Komarov launched into space aboard a spacecraft plagued with malfunctions. From the start, technical failures made it clear that the mission was doomed. Meanwhile, the second capsule, meant to facilitate the ambitious spacewalk, never even made it off the ground. As Komarov orbited Earth, he faced the grim reality of his situation. Communication transcripts, later intercepted by US intelligence, reveal a heartbreaking account of his final hours. In his last moments, Komarov reportedly cursed those who had sent him on this mission and bid an emotional farewell to his wife. When the spacecraft's parachutes failed during re-entry, Komarov's fate was sealed. His capsule crashed to Earth, marking one of the most tragic chapters in the history of space exploration. Komarov's death was officially recognized as the first fatality during a manned space mission. However, rumors suggest that he may not have been the first. Stories of lost cosmonaut Soviet space travelers who perished in secret have persisted for decades. Shortly after the USSR launched the first satellite, Sputnik, in 1957, speculation grew about human missions. Some reports claim that Soviet cosmonauts had ventured into space before Yuri Gagarin's historic flight in 1961 but never returned. One of the most compelling accounts came from Austrian scientist Hermann Oberth, who asserted in 1959 that a Soviet spaceman had died in orbit. Though he refused to divulge his sources, his claim fueled global curiosity. Could it be true? Did the Soviet Union prioritize secrecy over honoring their fallen pioneers? The lack of concrete evidence leaves us wondering. What secrets does history still hold about the early days of space exploration? Fast forward to the 1990s, and we find another story of resilience in the annals of Soviet space history. Sergei Krikalev, a seasoned cosmonaut, holds the unique title of being the last citizen of the USSR. In 1991, Krikalev was stationed aboard the Mir space station, orbiting Earth as his nation dissolved beneath him. The Soviet Union, embroiled in political chaos and economic collapse, could no longer afford to bring him home. Imagine spending months in space, uncertain when, or if, you'll ever return. Krikalev's mission, originally planned for 5 months, stretched to an incredible 311 days. Alone aboard Mir, he became a symbol of perseverance. Extended stays in microgravity come with significant health risks. Krikalev endured muscle atrophy, bone loss, and increased radiation exposure during his prolonged mission. By the time he returned to Earth in 1992, he was physically weak, requiring assistance to stand. Yet, his spirit remained unbroken. Krikalev's ordeal didn't deter him from pursuing his passion for space. In the years that followed, he became the first Russian to fly aboard a NASA space shuttle and later played a pivotal role in the development of the International Space Station. These stories remind us that the pursuit of progress often comes at a cost. Whether it's Komarov's ultimate sacrifice, the mysterious fate of the lost cosmonauts, or Krikalev's endurance, each tale offers valuable lessons about the human spirit and the ethical dilemmas of exploration. As we dream of colonizing other worlds and reaching new cosmic frontiers, let's not forget the sacrifices that paved the way. What do you think? Are the rewards of space exploration worth the risks? Share your thoughts below.